So a new day comes. We're going out to hand out books today. Join us as we embark on this journey.
And as we head out, we have a prayer, asking for the Lord's guidance in what to say and to do, and to give us courage.
It takes a lot of courage going around to people's houses and then just going up to the door and giving them a book, talking with people you don't even know, sometimes on your own, sometimes someone with you. My friend from Foundation for the End Time, Jeremiah, he helps me with handing out the books sometimes as well. But it takes some courage. We're going out to give out some more books. We do it a couple times a week. And today I have Dad helping me as we go around to give out these books to our neighborhood. So come along with me on this journey and you'll see what it's like to spread the gospel. So going around house to house, even though you were driving from place to place, I still get between anywhere from 5 to 10 miles of walking in the day, going from house to house, going up to the door, and back out to the driveway. Sometimes I'll go across through the yards to the next house. It takes a lot of time. I wish it was easier to go through and hand out books to them, but it takes some time to get from house to house. You know, some houses you go up to the door and you knock on the door and no one comes to the door. Other houses you go up to the door, you knock on the door, they come to the door, and some people are very willing and allow you to give them the book, and other people you start praying as you're leaving because you know they're threatening or whatever. They don't want you on their property, and yeah, it takes some courage. Going around from house to house, the other thing I deal with is dogs. Going up to a house, you have dogs that are trying to keep you from getting up to the house. I went to one place, I've dealt with dogs all over. I've gotten bit once doing it, and it's fun getting around dogs. That's one thing. You hear a dog and you're on alert because you're not sure if you're going to get eaten or not. So a couple weeks ago, I was going around giving out books, and I went to a house, and this guy comes to the door. He takes the book and he says, "So what church are you part of?" And I said, "We're not part of any church." And he says, "Jehovah's Witness?" And I said, "No, sir." He says, "So you're not part of any church? Like no organization?" And I said, "No, we're not." He says, "Well, that's refreshing." And he took the book and said that he would read it. And also, as I go around and give out these books, I keep in mind Job chapter 11 and verse 19, and it says, "None shall make thee afraid." I went to one place here about a week ago, and I stop at the driveway. It's a fairly long driveway in, and it was kind of, the yard was all junked up. It just looked like a place that I didn't want to go into. And I sat there and I thought, no, none shall make thee afraid. I'm gonna go ahead. So I walked up the driveway, past all the garbage, and I get up to this little shack. And this nice old man comes out, and he accepted the book. And I then later figured out that the reason that he was living in that shack was because his house had burned down. And also that he was a veteran. And it was encouraging to me that a place like that would actually accept the book and be in earnest about reading it. So, if you choose to hand out books as well, keep Job 11:19 in mind. So a couple of weeks ago, I go to a place and I pull into the driveway and there's a couple of dogs out front. And I'm thinking, oh, please, Lord, please help me not to get bit here. And so I said, nice doggy, and walked right on by him and go up to the door. And a lady, about 35, maybe 40, comes to the door. And she says, how'd you get past my dogs? And I said, well, when I was out there, I prayed that the Lord would keep me from being bit so that I can bring this book to you. And she says, I've got to have that book. No one gets past my dog. So a couple days ago, my dad and I were out handing out books, and I had been walking from house to house, and Dad was taking the truck and going and passing out books on the other side of the road. And he goes to one house, and there's a young boy about 5 years old or so riding around on a little lawnmower that had the deck removed from it. And so my dad gives the book to him and tells him to give it to his mom. And just as he's getting ready to leave, the boy's mom comes out. So Dad tells her what's going on and, you know, that we're giving out books and whatnot. And so she takes the book and thanks him. And as Dad goes to go back to the truck, he turns around and there was a young girl, probably 13 or 14 or so, and she had come out to her mother and taken the book and was heading back inside reading it. So a lot of the books are accepted. So about the total of books that we've handed out is about 800, somewhere right in that area, in our general area. And it's very refreshing. It's nice, even though the different, you know, the dogs and all of that. It's a pleasure to work for the Lord. If you guys want to start handing out books in your area as well, I have a link down in the description of my parents' website on the order page. You can order books there. The specific book that I'm actually giving out is titled, What Must I Do to Inherit Eternal Life? I hope you've been blessed by this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and walk with God.